Hey guys, how's it going? Lighty here, and today we're going to be discussing how to make money with flipping, like flipping for profit using vendor recipes. This video might not benefit everyone. You might see shit you already know. If so, then fucking whatever. First one's chaos recipe. It's pretty standard. The chaos recipe is used to get chaos orbs by vendoring unID'd 60 plus rare items. All right, you need a full set. So what would encompass wearing a full set? This is a full set basically. Alternatively, for the weapon slot, you can have a bow, you can have two one hands, you can have a one hand and a shield, and all this does is when you vendor it in full, you get 2 chaos orbs for unidentified. I always do unidentified. So there, that's the recipe. It's quite simple. All you have to do is just pick up rares. If you have access to multiple stash tabs, you can do what I do. Just fill them with shit, and eventually, like in my scenario, I'm looking for bodies, mostly have everything else. So I just, make a mental note to pick up more body armors. And that way I have a bunch of cash recipe sets just stashed up, and they do add up over time in a massive, massive, massive way. That is the easiest, and this is like the foundation for almost every league for a lot of players, is just chaos recipe, because you get unID'd rares, starting at level 60, and you can start doing it from there. People who farm Dread Lake, this is also pretty popular. This is also on the wiki. If you ever want to see the vendor recipes for all of them, there are a lot of them. You can actually do the same thing for Regal, for above 60 and below for Chance Orbs. I don't ever suggest using Chance Orbs. I don't ever suggest doing the 20 quality ones. It's just too much to keep track of. Same with the Regals. But the 2 Regals is good, and so is the 2 Chaos. So the next one we're talking about is Vingtars. Vestal of Vingtars is an extremely good flask. And there are 4 different variations of them, and those are dropped from the Vingtar Square map. Now, the expenses of them are pretty much as such. The one that is Fizz Conversion, the one that is added to attacks, and the one that's added to spells. These 3 are about 1 to 1.2x. Okay? But Pen is roughly 2 to 2.5x. Because it is the best overall. Now, a lot of people don't know where these items come from. They assume they just drop in the game, but this is actually gated behind a unique map, which is then further gated behind 4 random fucking staffs. Now, these staffs do just drop in the game. You can chance them if you'd like, and the price of the staffs are as such. They're roughly 18 to 20C each, okay? Now, if we look at, there's a fucking 2x for the pen ones. They're pretty expensive. If we look at the price of Exalted in Standard, you can see Legacy Softcore, it's about 80 to 1 at the moment, okay? So 80 to 1, so that's about, you're paying 1x in general, unless you can get some really crazy bro deals for the map, which gets you a flask. So everything that drops from the map is in profit, okay? So 4 staffs is about an X. Shitty flask is about an X. The map costs about an X. And you have to be able to do the map yourself. So selling the map isn't an option for this flip. You have to actually farm the map yourself. So that depends on if your build can do it or not. Of course, if you have 6 portals and you're in softcore, it shouldn't be difficult. But all it means is that all the drops from the map are then profit. And if you also hit the pen version, you're making 1x profit on Vingtars. Now, there's 1 in 4 drop chance. So if you do the math in the long run, if I buy 4 staffs, on average, I'm making 1x profit per 4x spent. And if it takes 20 minutes to buy the staffs and 20 minutes to run the maps, you're looking at about an X an hour of flipping, not including the profit from the drops from the actual map itself. So Vingtars can be pretty lucrative when it comes to that. So that's one aspect of how you're... a lot of people also just flip the staffs. If you can buy the staffs for 15C and you can sell the map for an X, you're making 20C right there. So, always looking for that is good. If you can buy any staff for 15C, you're probably making a couple chaos per staff easy. So next one looking at, this is one that I use the most this league, is the Wretch. Now the Wretch is an extremely good belt. I talked about it along with Vingtars in my last video actually. Made from Feastbind, Fambind, and a fusing. It makes sense that you're fusing them together. Hence the fucking lore behind that. Corrupted items will not work, FYI. So, the Wretch is an Exalted. Some are cheaper, but pretty much they're all an Exalted, give or take. Alright? By that logic, you'd think that each belt is 40C. If we look, this one, 34 chaos there. 30 chaos there. So in total, you could buy the pieces for, we'll say 65C, sell the belt for next, boom, 15C profit. Now, that may seem like not a ton. You do that a couple times a day, you'd be surprised how fast it adds up. A lot of these items are extremely cheap, and blatantly people don't know where they come from. I guarantee there's people out there who just think the wretch drops, let alone that it's locked behind Talisman League. Let's go to the third one. And this is the last one we're going to talk about, and this is the Anima Stone. Okay, now the Anima Stone, I don't really know how lucrative this one is. I kind of stumbled upon it. I did it twice, and it worked out really well, but I think my sample size was pretty shit. So the Anima Stone is by combining the Primordial Might, Harmony, and Eminence, which are the Golem Jewels. So super fucking niche, but the Anima Stone is about 5x at the moment. All right, so the stone itself is 5x. All right, and the one piece is a Chaos, negligible cost, fine. Second piece, 25C, we'll say. See, this guy most likely flipping because he's buying he's selling 2 of them. I'd find that quite suspicious considering he's significantly lower than the next person. This person has a lot also, which is also suspicious. He's got a ton, so keep that in mind. But we'll say 30C even, so 31C. Final piece, 4x. Okay, so 4x 30C. You could sell the top one for 5x. You're making 50C profit. Obviously, more investment, and then on the front end, more profit out the back end. Also harder to push because it's a niche item. You go back to stuff like Vessel, Vinctar, and you have stuff like the Wretch, a lot more common, a lot more used. So they're easier to sell, easier to flip. But this profit could be quite lucrative. You never know when someone might make a video. Ziggy D was playing Golem build, so it might have a resurgence. But this one is also one to look into. So yeah, that about wraps up all the vendor recipe flips that we're going to discuss today. These are just, some that work for me, and they might work for you. There's many other examples out there. So let me know what you guys think. Good luck out there, and, take these opportunities well. And have a good day. Lighty out.